So today we're going to be talking about Invoice Return in our Yearbooks app. To access our Invoice Return, you have to go to the sidebar and you will see the Returns tab. Within it, we have three different types of returns you can create. You can create an invoice return, you can create a purchase invoice return, or you can create an expense return. Right now, we're going to be focused on invoice return. So there are two different pages within the invoice return. You can either create an invoice return or you can view your previously created invoice returns. So let's go to the create invoice return page, and here we see a form come up, right? So on the right hand corner we see the invoice number drop down, and here's how you create your invoice return. To create an invoice return, you need to first have invoices already generated on your Yearbooks account. So here I have multiple invoices generated. If you don't have any invoices, you can go to the sidebar again, and there you see the invoice tab. Within it, we have create invoice page where you will see the form come up to create a new invoice, right? And here, as you can see the invoice number, the same invoice number is used in our invoice return to create a return for that invoice. So I'm going to select an invoice, and we see all our data in the form is pre-filled by that invoice number that I have selected, right? Now you cannot change anything here to create a return. The only thing that you can alter is you can reduce the quantity to create a partial invoice return, or you can delete items. Suppose there's two items, I can delete one item and create a partial invoice return for just this single item. This will ensure that when I try to create another return for the same invoice, I will have the remaining items show up, which then I can create another invoice return for that same invoice. So let me save. Now you can see that every detail is filled, and now I can go to the bottom buttons where I can either save or save and download. I'm going to click on the save button, and we will be redirected to the view invoice return page. Here you can see that I have created an invoice return for invoice 36. Its invoice date is there, its detail is there, everything is there, amount, item, description, right? I can download this invoice return. I can edit it by clicking on this icon, right? I can also delete it by either clicking on the trash icon, or I can select it and then click on this delete selected button, right? Now, another thing I can do in this view page is I can go to add filters, and I can filter out my data based on either company, invoice number, invoice type, date, minimum, maximum amount. Now, if I go to create invoice return again, and I go down and I select the same invoice that I had previously created a partial return for, I will see that now I only see that one item that I had removed from my previous return come up, right? When I create a return for this item, I have now fully created the invoice return for that one invoice, invoice 36, right? So now when I go to create invoice return and I try to create another return for this same invoice, I will see that I have no items available to return for this invoice, and I cannot create another invoice, right? So that in general is our invoice return flow.